Hello everybody and welcome back to Video for Productions. Now today I'm going to be talking about doing voiceovers. So I think for a lot of people on YouTube they struggle with this because you've been doing YouTube for a while now and you might want to do audio commentary over some of the videos and you might not know how to do that properly, which I completely understand because I think that might be the same for quite a few people. You do audio commentary and you're like making gaps all the time. And that can be really annoying for a lot of people because you'll be like stuttering, and that will be a problem if you do that all the time. And like I know a little bit will be okay, but if you're doing it 24/7, they'll just be taken out of it, and they'll know like you're unprofessional. So there is a few tips I have to doing this, and if you're talking about different subjects, there's a few ways to do that so you don't run out of ideas to say. Because if you're doing a gaming video, that is different to this because on gaming you can be talking about what you are doing in the game. But if you're doing what I can't do, which is talking about a certain subject, then it's really important you keep your audience engaged. So you have to be talking 24/7. Alright, so how do you do this? Well, first off, what I think can really help for a lot of people is don't do live commentary. So what I mean by this is if you have gameplay in the background or something, don't be playing that game at the same time as talking. Pre-record it. For gaming videos, this won't work. So do it live then if you're like doing it inside a game. But if you're talking about a certain subject that doesn't really have anything to do with that game, but you just want something in the background so they can watch, and you have a game going on, don't do it live, which is what I used to do. And that's a really bad idea because you are concentrating on playing that game and they want to have your full attention on doing your audio. So make sure you do it afterwards. I only started doing that, I think about 6 months ago, I think now. Makes a massive difference, trust me. You will really thank me if you do that and you haven't done it before, because that will make a humongous difference. Alright, so I know for a lot of people that might do like gaming videos where they talk about things in the gaming community, things like that. So for what I recommend for that is have a little sheet of paper that you put like little bullet points on or what you're going to talk about. That means you don't have to spend a little while thinking of what do I say now? Because you don't have to think of the next subject. Now have it written down before, have like a rough outline of what you're going to say and pre-do it in your head a little bit so you know what you're going to say and it's all smooth. And if you forget what the next one is, you can just look at that piece of paper and be straight on to the next topic without having to take that little bit of time to be like, oh god, what's the next piece of news? And then it just flows a whole lot nicer so you don't forget about anything to say. So I'm guessing at this point a fair few of you are probably thinking, well no, why don't you just do cuts in the audio? And I do that a lot of the time between bits I'm going to be talking about. I leave little gaps and that's completely fine. But I think for a lot of people that may be a little bit of an issue because it might not flow on when you're talking about different subjects and something you have to get used to. But also, if you have a microphone that's not very good and it picks up static, that can be a real issue because they will hear the change in the static audio, and that will mean they know you've made a cut. You don't really want them to think that you have made a cut. So what you can do is you can go into Audacity, which will actually do a tutorial on pretty soon about how to make your audio quality sound way better, and you can cut out the static from there, which you can search up on YouTube to find out how to do that. There's like tutorials on there. But if you're not bothered to do that or you don't have Audacity, it's a free program by the way, so if you don't have it, please just get it. But if for whatever reason you don't want to go and do it in Audacity, I don't know why I wouldn't want to do that. If it doesn't work on your PC, I don't know. Just try not to do cuts because they will hear the difference. So if you have to, get a better microphone. I think if you have a microphone that does actually make static noise and you have to edit it out, then chances are you have a pretty poor microphone. Especially if all you're doing is voiceovers, you won't have a good microphone. So definitely change that. I have a pretty good microphone. It's a condenser mic and I've got a boom pole and I've got a pop filter, which is really helpful actually because when you're doing audio, you might say your P's and your B's will have like those pops, which the pop filter will stop and that won't happen. So the audio sounds a lot nicer, a lot smoother, and it's not always like a voice isn't always changing loads, which is pretty good. So now those annoying pops, but some people actually genuinely like. One of my friends told me they don't mind it, and they actually quite like it. I don't know why you would want that, but some people do like it. So, but I think a lot of people don't. So, get a pop filter. Literally, you can get them for like £1 on Amazon. They're crazy cheap. Or if you have tights, just put tights over your microphone. Literally, it's the same thing. Someone told me this, and I didn't believe them. But when I actually got my pop filter, which arrived after the microphone because it didn't come with one, when I got my pop filter, I literally felt it. I was like, wow, that is just tights in like a circular frame thing. But I thought it was a tad bit ridiculous, but it works. So if you have tights, actually mine is like double layered, which so it's like extra kind of thick thing. I think pretty much all pop filters have that. So I've yet put like 2 layers of tights on if you want to. But that's good for the pop filter because it is quite a big thing, and I would definitely recommend getting one. So if you don't have one, just spend a little bit of money, literally £1, and go grab one from Amazon. I'm actually quite surprised there isn't ones in Poundland, but there's not. Well, not in the ones near me anyway. Not in the UK, not yet. Anyway, so go out and get one off Amazon. Mine was actually like £7, but that's because it's like £5 for postage and packaging. So you may as well get a better one that has free postage and packaging, and it ends up being about the same. So you know. Alright, another thing, what if you have background noise when you're doing your videos? For example, you're in a house and you might have parents, and I obviously have parents. I have parents. I'm not adopted, I have parents. But even if I was adopted, I would still have parents. I'm going to stop that conversation now. So the parents are in the house quite a lot of the time, so that means that they're generally going to be around, right? And you might be able to hear them. And that is sometimes why there's cuts when like they walk past and like that, I don't know. But generally, I don't really have an issue with that. They don't really come up near my room, so that's fine. That's not a problem for me. But for a lot of people, you might have your parents that are constantly walking past your room, or you have your door open, or you record your videos in like the lounge or something. I don't know why you do that for a voiceover, but if you do, or you have brothers or sisters, you may have an issue with background noise, or like a dog, or like your mum's hoovering, or something. I don't know. If you have background noise, then you might have a bit of an issue. So this once again can be taken out in Audacity. For example, if your mum's doing hoovering, that's pretty much the same as static. You can take that out, and your voice will sound pretty quiet because the hoover would have taken it over. So by taking that out, your voice will sound quite quiet. But you can turn it up, but your voice will distort a little bit, or it might sound a bit low quality. But if you have a really good microphone, that shouldn't really be a problem. If you have like your sisters or something, that might be a bit more of an issue because they won't be making like the same noise over and over again. So Audacity will find it hard to pick that out. So you might end up with some of your voice disappearing. So that could be a bit bad. So you don't really want that. So basically, if you share rooms with a sister or something like that, or a brother or whatever, chances are you're pretty screwed. I'm just gonna go out and say it. You're stuffed. I can't really help you there. Tell them to shut up. I don't know. But in that case, there's not really a lot you can do with audio editing softwares. I'm just telling you that there's pretty much nothing you can do. If it's a consistent noise, that's like exactly the same, it's always going on, and you cut that out, that'd be fine, like a hoover, or like someone arguing exactly the same, like same words over and over again, that would work. But if they're saying different things that try to annoy you, there is nothing I can do. If it's a dog, that might work. If they make like the same bark sound every single time, that could work. So dog's not too big of an issue. You can probably cut that out. But anything other than that, just go somewhere else. I don't know. Go to a library. Or no, that could be bad. You can't really talk like that. I don't know. Go to a McDonald's toilet, lock yourself in, and just record. I don't know. Yeah, go to the toilet. I don't know. Do something that's quiet and stuff. Can't really help you on that one, if I'm honest. But that's pretty much my tips for getting good audio quality and how to constantly be speaking. Also, take breaks, like deliberate breaks when you're speaking, even if you know what to say next. Just take a little bit of a break because your voice will really ache. I've been recording for like 10 minutes. Honestly, my voice, it's really, really dry, really, really croaky. And if you watch my videos, during the end, my voice will generally be more croaky. And that's just through recording because you're like speaking 24/7 through 10 minutes. That's a lot of speaking, and it's a bit intimidating, really. So just take breaks and have water, which I honestly don't have. I don't actually know why I don't have water in my room, but I don't. So I need to get some, basically. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please, what on earth was that mess of words? So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button for more awesome content on the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.